Hello, everyone. I'm Linda G. Robert. I've been asked recently by a viewer and a subscriber, D White 0612, to talk a little bit more about teaching English as a foreign language. Thank you, D. I appreciate your question. Now, I am in my 60s, and I want to share a little bit about my journey teaching English online, especially for anyone who might be, over 50, over 60 or more really, and who might be curious about whether this is the right path for them. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a history and tell you about some of the platforms that I taught on. Now, the very, very first time I considered teaching English was back in the early 2000s. And at the time, I was in a relationship that I wanted to get out of, and I started thinking about traveling the world. I never actually traveled back then, but I thought, how could I travel and work at the same time? And when I did my research, teaching English seemed like a great way to do that. But I would have had to move to Vietnam or move to China, and that's all I was really finding at that time. And I wasn't in that position to do that. Fast forward to 2007, when I took my first official teaching course. We're talking about teaching English as a second language in this case. This was a 2-week program that was offered in Ottawa. And that course focused on teaching English as a second language, not as a foreign language, so for immigrants that had landed in Canada. Now, what I really wanted was to work from home and have the flexibility to travel someday. So I started exploring online platforms. And one of the first platforms that I discovered was Cambly. I'll talk a little bit about that. Licoshow was next, then Palfish. I don't think Licoshow is on available right now. I don't think it's available at all. And in 2019, I decided to upgrade my skills with a newer, more comprehensive English as a foreign language course, because of course the course I had taken in 2007 was still good, but a bit outdated and not to teach online and not to teach English as a foreign language either. Now on Cambly, especially now, I'm a pro teacher on Cambly. So it's not just casual conversations. Many students are serious about improving their English. Some want to move to Canada, for example, and need help to prepare for language assessments or job interviews. Others work with international clients and need to speak or need to present or need to negotiate in English, right? So there's a real need for structure in that case and some planning as well. Now, as a pro teacher on Cambly, I create learning plans tailored to each student's goals, and sometimes I even assign homework. That means I need to do a bit of research, find the right resources, and so on. Now, on Palfish, when I taught there, I taught mostly individuals from China. It was a Chinese platform, an app. I determined when I was going to teach, how I was going to teach, and I was even able to do some lives to find students too. Now, I set my own schedules, I set my own rates on Palfish, which was a lot of fun too. And of course, I could use my phone to teach when I taught on Palfish. Now, on Licoshow, I had to follow prepared PowerPoint presentations, and I led classes for groups. Sometimes there were 2, sometimes there were 4 students, sometimes more students. I also taught on Fluentify. Now, that was a completely different platform. It paid more. And yes, I had to prepare homework and correct assignments, and I needed to use a laptop and, of course, have special equipment. So I've got experience on very different types of platforms. Now, the students that I meet on Cambly aren't just casual learners. Most want a regular tutor and consistent hours. So many mature learners want to practice English for traveling purposes, for example, or because they do work with international clients. Like, there's a lot of different reasons why they subscribe, but that's about the gist of it. Now, they often understand and read English, but they need to improve their speaking and their listening skills. Now, I've also had private students that I had met on platforms like Palfish or through LinkedIn, and some of these relationships have lasted years, actually. Now, teaching English online isn't for everyone. It takes patience, right? It takes a lot of flexibility. It takes some tech comfort, willing to adapt to students, to their different learning styles. So if you're thinking about teaching English online, especially if you're over 50, like I am, it's important really to know what you're getting into. And that's one of the reasons I created a mini course just for people like us who want to explore this path, the right way without wasting time or bad advice. And in fact, over the years, because I have been teaching online since 2017. Yeah. So over the years, I've been asked a lot of different types of questions about, teaching online, especially when I was on the show. A lot of people wanted to know, what I thought about it and how to apply and so on. And over the years, I've been asked, all sorts of different questions. So I thought, let's just create a mini course. You know that I love developing programs. So I did develop a mini course for people who, want to learn a little bit more about teaching English as a foreign language. Now, if you want to learn more about this mini course where I cover everything from platforms, I cover tech tips, to realistic expectations, and I share resources as well. So it's although it's a mini course, I've packed a lot of different lessons in that mini course. So thanks for watching, and I hope I see you in the course as well. I hope this was helpful to you. Bye now.